Hi, my name's Nat. I am a first year computer scientist at UOB. In a survey done last year, almost 9 in 10 students said that they dealt with some sort of anxiety, whilst 8.4% of students surveyed had been diagnosed with a mental health illness due to anxiety. And it's probably even worse at the moment during lockdown, unfortunately. I know I'm more worried and more anxious about what's happening. I'm not in control of this virus, I can't control it. Feels like my whole life's out of control. I don't know what's happening with university next year. And I know I'm anxious about other things, about what's happening with my parent who's been diagnosed with cancer over the last month, how they're going to cope. And it's really hard. We get anxious about everything, about exams, about what's going to happen tomorrow. And it sometimes can be useful, but I think most of us can agree it's not. It's really hard. And as it's such a big thing, the Bible and Christianity can't shy away from it, and it doesn't. We don't. And Jesus doesn't. In Matthew 6:25-34, which is one of the 4 accounts of Jesus, Jesus talks about worry and what we should do to it. And I really recommend, when after watching this, go onto Bible Gateway and look up these verses. I'm going to quote from them. But it says that we should not worry about our life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air, they do not sow or reap, or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you be worrying, add a single hour to your life? And it's saying here that we don't need to worry. It doesn't add anything. I think most people can agree. It takes stuff away. It means we actually lose hours because we're worrying about it. And Jesus is saying God feeds the birds. Jesus goes on to say, look at how beautiful creation is. And God, we are more valuable than them, than what the birds and then what plants. So God will give us food and will provide for us. He says, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. But there's a proviso to this, and it says, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. And that's verse 33. And you might think, what, seek his righteousness and seek his kingdom? Who's his? And that's God. Seek God's righteousness and God's kingdom. And you might go, why should we do that? What's the point there? And actually, there's a very big point, and it's what Christians all believe, that we believe Christ died. You might think, why should we follow someone? But you follow someone if they've done something first for you. If they've done something like dying on the cross, like Jesus did. Jesus being perfectly human, but completely God. And you might think, why does Jesus have to die on the cross? But it's for all the things we do wrong. I'm sure you can agree. You will have done things which you might not be completely proud of. But you think, oh, we're good enough. But to God's perfection, we're not. I'm not perfect. I can completely admit that I am not perfect. And God knows we can't be perfect. So what he does is send Jesus down to die on the cross. And Jesus lives a perfect life. Jesus being perfectly God and perfectly human, like I said. He lives a perfect life, but he dies on the cross. So what happens is that all the good things which Jesus did gets put on us. And all the bad things we do get put on him. So it means when God looks at me, he sees Jesus' righteousness. And he sees his perfection. He does not see the sin I do. He does not see all the bad things I do. And then what happens is that Jesus dies, and then 3 days later he rises again to show he has power over death. And then this means that if I seek him, which I do, and I hope you do, it means I then don't have to worry about what's happening tomorrow, what's going to happen with my parents' cancer treatment, what's going to happen with COVID-19. Because I know ultimately God's in charge. He has already solved the biggest problem in my life, the things I do wrong, my sin, as we say. If you want to know more about this, if you have questions, please message us, message the CEU. We'd love you to talk to us.